If you haven't heard or seen the news, or if you're out of the loop, there's currently anti-ICE and anti-deportation protests going on all over the country, but mainly it's going on in Los Angeles, California. These protests are in response to Trump increasing the rate at which illegal immigrants are being deported. And one thing I hear a lot is people say, they're deporting innocent people who never broke a single law. Newsflash for you. The minute you illegally entered into US soil, you broke a law. A federal law, actually. It's called illegal immigration. Keyword illegal. Remember, Obama deported 2.5 million illegal immigrants. And nobody said anything because he knew how to dunk. But Trump deports not even 1 million, and suddenly he's the one who's now anti-immigrant. Yeah, okay. And yes, I work construction. I've worked with a lot of legal and illegal people. Mostly, they're great people and great workers. I really haven't had a problem with any of them. And I understand getting your citizenship is not as easy as people think. It takes a long time and it costs tens of thousands of dollars just to even have a chance to become a citizen. You can pay tens of thousands of dollars and still not even become a citizen. So most of the guys just have like temporary work visas and they just keep renewing them, and they have a house in Mexico and a house in the United States, and they just travel back and forth so they don't fall into the illegal category. But before the deportations even started, there was already mass self-deportations happening by the smart illegals, because they knew if they get deported by ICE, their chances of coming back in the United States are pretty much slim to none. So again, the smart ones did not want to take that risk. They figured, I'll leave now on my own accord and then fill out the paperwork and just come back within the next year, 2 years, maybe 5 years, but at least you'll have a chance to come back. But now the Hispanic community is coming together to protest the deportations. To give you an idea of what the protests actually look like, I pulled some videos from TikTok and let's review them right now. Okay, so here's a live. They already blocked off one side of this freeway. You can see people under the bridge off in the distance, and they're probably slowly working to the other side. There you see trucks waving the Mexican flag around, and then a whole bunch of Mexican flags in the background.
Oh my god, look at the bus. Oh, it feels so bad.
On this video, they finally took over the streets on both sides. And what does that sign say? Hold on, I gotta see what that sign says. The system is rotten and illegals. I don't know. I can't read that sign. I should have looked closer. I didn't even see that. But yeah, as you can see, both sides of the highway are blocked off, and I don't see a single American flag anywhere. It's just Mexico flags, and I think that's a El Salvadoran flag, maybe. Same thing. What flag is that? Oh look. Okay, yeah. You see all these cars in the background? They can't even get through. Everyone's just blocking the freeway. They even got vendors selling food right there on the bottom right hand side. So I mean, you gotta appreciate the hustle culture. I believe, yeah, the police came and they moved them from off the highway and put them back on the median, or the on-ramp, off-ramp. So they did end up pushing them back. And I do see the Mexico-American half flag, which that's a little bit better, because that's showing at least you're both. That's better than just straight up the Mexico flag. Okay, here is the next video, and yeah, it's just another angle, another view of the police stopping people from entering the highway. And if you look in the back of that, you'll see them just, again, blocking the freeway. And then here is one more video of just the trail of cars with Mexico flags everywhere, and just everyone completely taking over the entire road, the city, everything. Can someone explain to me how blocking roads and freeways help your cause? Listen, you're allowed to peacefully protest in America, but you're not allowed to break the law while protesting, meaning you're blocking a public roadway. That's against the law. I'd also imagine anyone who is minding their own business, driving along the road, who is really indifferent about whatever cause, would probably become radicalized in the opposite side because you disrespected them and you inconvenienced them. The craziest thing about this is that you have all these people who are in the US right now, protesting in the US, waving around a flag of a country they are desperately trying not to go back to. Where do you think you are? If these countries are so great and you want to show support, why don't you go to those countries and actively help them out? Why don't you go to those countries and help build them up? Help become part of the culture that you so dearly love? No, you're not going to do that. It's easier to just virtue signal. It's kind of related, but kind of not. But the same people who talk about how Nazis are so bad and you're a Nazi if you say anything that they disagree with, those same people are the same ones who also now hate the Jews in Israel. So, I don't know, you kind of got to pick a side, you know? If I moved to China, I would be expected to learn Chinese. I would be expected to adapt to their culture. And I wouldn't be flying around an American flag, and I definitely would not be burning a Chinese flag. I'd probably be thrown in jail or executed. I don't know what they do in China, but I know they don't take that too kindly. And that's the exact same thing that's happening here, that example. One comment I did see online that was pretty funny and that kind of summed it up pretty well. They said if you're a football player that plays for the Cowboys and he gets traded to the Saints, you don't continue to wear your Cowboys jersey. This is a pretty good example, although a better, more realistic example would probably be like you play for the Cowboys and you snuck into the Saints locker room and you put on their jersey and the Saints saw you weren't supposed to be there, but they let you stay on their team because, you know, you would fetch them waters. That is probably a more realistic answer to, or a realistic example of what's going on here. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with people having pride in their ancestry or heritage. I respect my ancestors from Europe. I'm glad they sacrificed so much so I could live today. But I'm not going to be waving a German or British flag, really ever. It's not my country anymore. My ancestors moved to the United States and they assimilated into the culture. They brought pieces of their culture along with them. And yes, white people have culture, so don't even bother commenting that. I mean, you can, but then you just kind of out yourself on someone who doesn't really understand anything outside of the mainstream left-wing talking points. So back to the point. If you want to live in the best country in the world, you need to come legally. You need to assimilate, and you need to follow our laws and our customs. And you don't get to slowly change our country and our culture into yours. I'm looking at you, Hamtramck, Michigan. I'm looking at you.